And it was unbelievable, the scene when this vampire hunt took place.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a few people. It was a full mob. I mean, just hordes of people
Wow.
at Highgate Cemetery.
Yeah.
Some armed with stakes, some with dogs, all just fueled by this just...
I can't even imagine.
Oh, yeah.
So, you mentioned how the media was playing a role
Right.
in kind of whipping this whole thing up. Were they present at the hunt?
Oh, yeah. They were there.
Yeah.
Full force cameras, flashing microphones everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Just documenting every little thing, every stake in the ground, every outlandish claim. And you can imagine how that would just intensify everything.
Absolutely. It's almost like a feedback loop, right?
Exactly.
They feed the frenzy and that gives them more material to report on. So it just keeps escalating and escalating. But I'm curious, though, amidst all of that chaos, were there any voices of reason? Were there people who were kind of like, guys?
Well, there were a few skeptics, but they were largely drowned out. By the mob, I mean even those who didn't necessarily believe in vampires.
Right.
They were still caught up
in the spectacle.
in the spectacle of it all. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you mentioned this self-proclaimed vampire expert, Alan Blood.
Right.
Traveled quite a ways to be there.
Right.
What was his take on all of this?
He was interesting. He showed up at Highgate, eager to participate.
Yeah.
But even he was critical of the way it was going down.
Really?
He complained about the lack of proper equipment.
What?
And how no one really seemed to have a plan.
Oh, my gosh. So even amongst the vampire experts,
Right.
there's disagreement and confusion. It
Exactly.
really makes you wonder
Yeah.
how much of this was genuine belief
Yeah.
and how much of it was performance.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I'm going to grab the spotlight.
Exactly.
It's fascinating. And as if things weren't already dramatic enough,
Right.
there was a rather disturbing discovery
Yes.
that was made in the cemetery around this time.
Yes. During this whole vampire panic, a headless, charred female corpse
Oh, my gosh.
was found
Wow.
in the cemetery.
And that, of course,
Yeah.
sent shockwaves, I'm sure, through the community.
Of course.
And just reignited all the fear and speculation.
Yeah. It really just added fuel to the fire.
Right. How did Farron and Manchester react to this?
Well, Manchester was quick to use this new development
Oh, bet.
as evidence of satanic rituals
Of course.
and linked it to his theory of the king vampire's resurrection.
Of course. It seems like every event, no matter how tragic or unsettling, only served to reinforce
Exactly.
his vampire narrative.
Yeah.
What about Farron?
Well, he vowed to patrol the cemeteries himself
Oh, wow.
and capture this vampire.
Really? So he was actually arrested for vampire hunting.
Yeah. He was arrested for trespassing
Okay.
while carrying a crucifix and a wooden stake.
Oh, my gosh.
He claimed that he was conducting a seance,
Okay.
but his statement to the police didn't help.
What did he say?
Well, he told them that he was entering catacombs and that he sought to stake a supernatural being.
Oh, my gosh. So he was playing right into the stereotype of the crazed vampire hunter. What happened with his arrest? Did he face any serious consequences?
His lawyer actually got the charges dropped.
What?
Yeah. He argued that vampire hunting isn't technically illegal.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. He compared it to searching for the Loch Ness Monster,
Wow.
suggesting that it was all in the realm of folklore
Wow.
or belief.
No.
So it was a creative defense.
That's amazing. Okay, so this whole case is outlandish.
Yeah.
It really does touch on some really interesting legal questions. But the drama didn't end with Farron's arrest.
No.
Tell me about this occult duel.
Well, the rivalry between Farron and Manchester just escalated to the point where they were accusing each other of black magic threats
Oh, my.
and even some physical altercations.
Wow. It sounds like their competition had spiraled completely out of control.
Wow.
What exactly did they have planned for this duel?
Well, they promised a public spectacle.
Okay.
Naked witches.
Oh, my God.
Demon raising. Even the ritualistic slaughter of a cat.
Okay, now that is where I draw the line.
Right.
Even if you're buying into the whole vampire hunting thing,
Right.
animal cruelty is just unacceptable.
Absolutely.
So what happened?
Public outrage forced them to either abandon it or tone it down quite a bit.
Okay, good.
But it does speak volumes
It does.
about the lengths they were willing to go to.
Wow. We have this backdrop of a society grappling with change and a media landscape that's so eager for sensationalism.
Right.
And these two personalities vying for dominance
Exactly.
in this world of the occult. It's just fascinating. But what ultimately happened to our vampire hunters? Did their fame last?
Well, as with most of these stories, public interest waned.
Of course.
And the police ended up linking a lot of the cemetery disturbances to teenagers.
Oh, so it was just bored teenagers.
Yeah, just bored teenagers looking for thrills.
Well, that's a little anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But perhaps not entirely surprising. So the vampire panic subsided.
Right.
But I imagine our two vampire hunters didn't just fade into obscurity.
You're right. The story doesn't end there. Well, it's interesting because it seems that witnessing Farron's legal troubles actually had a sobering effect on Manchester.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He toned down his persona quite a bit.
Interesting.
And claimed to have been ordained as a bishop.
A bishop? From vampire hunter to bishop?
Yeah, in the old Catholic Church.
Okay, now hold on. The old Catholic Church.
Right.
I'm not familiar with that. What is that?
Well, it's a branch of Christianity that split from the Roman Catholic Church back in the 1870s.
Okay.
And they're known for having more liberal views on certain theological matters.
So Manchester went from this flamboyant vampire hunter to a figure of religious authority.
Yeah, it's quite a change.
That is quite a change. But it seems that even with this new religious calling, he couldn't quite resist the spotlight.
Right.
Did he and Farron ever cross paths again?
They continued to spar in the media for years.
Oh, wow.
Each offering their own interpretations of what happened at Highgate and taking jabs at each other's credibility.
So their rivalry just went on and on.
Right.
It's like they were two sides of the same coin drawn to this world of the occult, but with very different approaches.
Exactly. Yeah. One embracing the spectacle and the other seeking a more institutionalized role.
Right. But ultimately, the public kind of moved on.
Right.
Didn't they? The vampire panic became just another strange chapter in London's history.
Yeah, it's true. But, you know, the story continues to fascinate.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It speaks to our enduring fascination with the unexplained.
It really does. It makes you think, what is it about these stories that we find so compelling? Is it just entertainment, a desire for a good scare?
Well, I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
We crave stories, especially those that tap into our deepest fears.
Our anxieties.
Yeah. And the Highgate Vampire case offers just that. A tangible monster that people could project their anxieties onto.
Right. It was happening in this very specific cultural context.
Right. The 60s and 70s when you had all this upheaval, traditional values being challenged.
A fascination with the occult.
Exactly. And the media played a huge role, too.
Of course.
With their hunger for these sensational stories.
Imagine how this might have played out if we didn't have 24/7 news, if we didn't have these images.
It makes you wonder what monsters we're creating today.
That's such a good point. What stories are we telling ourselves now?
Right. What narratives are taking root?
Yeah.
And what fears are they reflecting?
The Highgate Vampire case is a reminder that even in this seemingly rational and scientific age, we're still drawn to the mysterious, to the unexplained.
Yes.
Those stories that offer a glimpse into the shadows, into the possibility that something else is out there.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that the line between belief and disbelief, between reality and imagination, is much blurrier.
It is.
And we like to admit.
That's the truth.
Well, there you have it. Our deep dive into the Highgate Vampire case.
Fascinating, isn't it?
It really is a tale of social anxieties, media frenzy, and these larger-than-life personalities. And ultimately, the power of a good story.
It all comes back to that.
It really does.
Yeah.
So we'll leave you to ponder the mysteries of the Highgate Vampire.
All right.
And maybe consider what monsters, real or imagined, might be lurking in the shadows of your own life.
Out there.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.